Page 4. Okay, setting proper motivation with the 2 points. Refuge field, visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the enlightened beings in front of you. And how you visualize them. They are like very affectionate parents, and you come home demoralized, and they are waiting there to give full love, affection, attention, and embrace. Bodhicitta field, visualize your 2 parents and all the demons and may surround you. And how you visualize them. They are like very affectionate parents. And you, so here you are the mother, and all others are like your children. Imagine that they come home demoralized, and you are there to give full love, affection, and attention, and so forth. And the purpose of this class is to awaken the Buddha nature within us, the perfect state of enlightenment within us. And you are leading this, and all the demons and Jamaica join you. Page 4. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanye joda zoge jonamda, chanju bardo dane gyapsoichi. Dage jinso gebe sonamge, jola benje sanye chubarayisho. Sanye joda zoge jonamda, chanju bardo dane gyapsoichi. Dage jinso gebe sonamge, jola benje sanye chubarayisho. Independent origination. There is no ceasing nor rising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the Supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all these hearers seeking pacification, complete peace, who through the knowledge of past causes or sampling migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience help subduers expound a variety of teachings. The one who is transformed into a reliable guide and motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. The teacher, God and protector, to you are made prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and profound. Who eternally shines forth for the noble life raised, to you the Buddha made prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum teshan tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha eva bhati ma Shramanaye Svaha. Om Hetu Prabhava Hetum Teshan Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Eva Vati Maha Shramanaye Svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswatyata Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswatyata. Okay, let us turn to page 5, which reads, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. The one who is transformed into the reliable guide. Do you get this? Good. Okay. So this stanza is very precious. In fact, I remember His Holiness the Dalai Lama giving teachings. Okay, page 5 in English, same page. Page 4. Page 4 in French, page 5 in English. This stanza, His Holiness, during his public teachings, he oftentimes cites and they advise people to structure the dharma practice on the basis of these two lines. And how these two lines came into being. It was the incredibly great saint scholar and also the father of the Buddhist logic, Acharya Dignaga. Acharya Dignaga, the father of Buddhist logic, in 6th century AD. He wrote this. And maybe sometimes later, otherwise, okay, yes. What happened was that Acharya Dignaga, he was more like a hermit, and of course the father of Buddhist logic, hermit. And he wrote these two lines, and of course it's actually 4 lines. 4 lines. The next two, they are more like his promise of compiling the text, but these 2 lines bear the main essence of the meaning to be conveyed. These 2 lines he wrote, the 4 lines he wrote in those days, 6th century AD. In those days, this paper was very unlikely. Then he wrote this on a slate, and he left it outside his hermitage, and he left for his alms begging, for his alms. Coming back, what was written on the slate was erased. He did it 3 times, and all 3 times it was erased. 4th time, but he did not write this. What he wrote was that, whosoever erased what I wrote earlier, whosoever erased this, if you erased it out of fun, what I'm doing is not a fun. It's a very important word, so don't erase this. If you erase this because you dislike, because you disagree with what I wrote, come in person. Okay, so coming back upon his return, a gentleman was waiting there in person. So in those days, 6th century AD in India, the custom was to, if you disagree, you just have a head-on discussion and dialogue and debate. And whoever lost the debate, you have to surrender, you have to convert to the other tradition. And you have 500 students, you and all the 500 students will be converted. This is the bet. This used to be the bet. Okay. Now 2 of them debated, and this Acharya Dignaga, the author of these 2 lines, and he being the father of Buddhist logic, a great logician, so how can somebody expect to win debating with him. So the other person lost the debate, but the other person had, in those days, other person had some supernatural power. So he had the power to send fire from his mouth. So having lost the debate, he became so angry, and instead of sticking to the bed, he sent fire from his mouth towards Acharya Dignaga. And Acharya Dignaga's the robes were burned. Then Acharya Dignaga, he felt so discouraged, dissuaded, that okay, now I'm every day praying and working to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Now, if I cannot help even one single person in front of me, how can I possibly benefit? How can I possibly help all sentient beings? So there's no point. And then he threw the slate in the sky. The moment the slate was to fall, he was to quit his aspiration of the Bodhicitta. And strangely, the slate never fell. And he just looked up in the sky, and he saw Arya Manjushri. Okay, he saw Arya Manjushri in the sky holding the slate. Arya Manjushri holding the slate. And then the Arya Manjushri advised him in a very affectionate way, my child, why should you have to feel disheartened? Why should you feel discouraged over this action? The book that you're writing, you continue writing this book, and I will be there to bless you. I will be there to always assist you. And this book will become like the eyes of the wisdom for the millions and billions of beings in the future. So this was the prophecy given by Arya Manjushri to Acharya Dignaga. So this is the word of salutation which we are reading now. And if His Holiness the Dalai Lama oftentimes cites these two lines in Tibetan. This is the Tibetan version. English one, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sukadar, and protector to your karmic restorations. So this is these two lines. This is incredibly significant. And then in the 7th century AD, a great Indian logician again, a great Indian logician by the name Acharya Dharmakirti. Okay, so we cannot evade studying his text. Acharya Dharmakirti's text, Pramana Vartika. 4 chapters. Of this, the 2nd chapter. Second chapter, so this author, Acharya Dharmakirti, he saw these two lines. And saw that this is something, very condensed version of the whole Buddha Dharma. So he was so fascinated, and he explained these two lines and made a whole chapter to explain these two lines. Chapter 2 of Pramana Vartika. So this chapter 2, it has about 283 stanzas. And 283 stanzas, if we are to read just 2 lines to explain this, he wrote 283 stanzas. If you read this 283 stanzas, again you will not understand it. You need 2 huge volumes. So to understand these 2 lines, we need 2 huge volumes, which in turn explains it, 283 stanzas written by, as a commentary by Acharya Dharmakirti, to explain these 2 lines written by Acharya Dignaga. So we are so fortunate to meet with these 2 lines of Acharya Dignaga. Okay, so I'm going to quickly give you the explanation of this. So these 2 lines, if you understand so thoroughly, on the basis of the chapter 2 of Pramana Vartika, right? Of chapter 2, Pramana Vartika, this would be extremely, we are going to be very, very fortunate if you know Dharma. So for that matter, what we do is, okay, let's begin with this, the 2 agendas which we discussed yesterday. This morning or yesterday? I think yesterday. 2 agendas. In other words, the purposes or the 2 points to keep in mind to look for a meaning of our life. What are the 2 points? 1, be kind to yourself. Number 2, be wisely kind to yourself. Don't forget it. Let us begin from there, right? Okay. So therefore, Buddhism is not for you to be qualified to some tradition. No. It is finally to accomplish these 2 points. Be kind to yourself and be wisely kind to yourself. Right? Okay. So the whole 6.5 days of the teaching, Bodhicitta retreat, is going to be interactive, right? So feel free, because the number is not big, so we can have a very intimate, the discussion and the interaction. So feel free to just throw your ideas, share your thoughts, right? Okay. So with this in mind, let us not forget these 2 main points, right? What I always share with people is your happiness should not be for dharma. Dharma should be for your happiness. Don't forget it. Oftentimes we do it wrongly. Your happiness is not for dharma. Dharma is for your happiness. Right? Don't forget it. So with this mind, start from 2 things. Be kind to yourself and be wisely kind to yourself. This is so important. Okay, what does it mean by be kind to yourself? Which means, how is mother kind to you when you were a very young, tender child? How was your mother kind to you? Because the mother is there to provide you with all the benefits. You agree with me? You agree with me? Yes. So the mother has been kind to you by providing all the benefits that you are seeking. Likewise, be kind to yourself means give yourself all the benefits. Okay, some of you who may be more into compassion, right? Some people are gifted with compassion since childhood. Okay, if you belong to this category, then when you hear this, be kind to yourself, I did not start by saying be kind to others. You may think, okay, this is something very strange. It's a Mahayana teaching and it says be kind to yourself. He never said be kind to others, right? Okay, so the point is, let us be patient. If you belong to this category, okay, we should be kind to others, we should be kind to other animals, other human beings, like this. Okay, be a little patient with me, bear with me for the next, 3 days, till we reach the actual Bodhicitta teaching. So then you will realize that this is so wise to follow this approach. You're getting it? Starting by be kind to yourself. Eventually, what you will discover is that the wisest way to be kind to yourself and to be kind to others, these 2 are same. You're getting it? The wisest way to be kind to yourself, to give you the maximum benefit, and to give benefit to others, these 2 become synonymous. You come to realize this later on. But why I started with the be kind to yourself is because we should be very practical, we should be very realistic. We should be very practical, we should be very realistic. We have to start from where we are. We are in France. We are not in India. If you're in India, if you're in Delhi, then going to Dharamsala is very easy. You don't have to buy a flight ticket. But you're in France. So if you think that you're in India, I don't have to buy a flight ticket to go to Dharamsala to pay visit to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, right? You're living in an illusion. You're in France. So here you have to pay, the flight ticket and all these things. We should be very realistic. Be very practical. Okay, how to be realistic and how to be practical? Okay, how many of you had experience of day 1 of your life? Day 1 you were born. How many of you had this experience? Raise hands. How many of you had the experience of day 1 of being born on this earth? Day 1. No experience. Only one girl. Alex, Nicola, and a translator. And okay, all of us, right? We all had the experience of day 1. Okay, how many, listen, day 1 you were born on this earth, how many of you cried? We all cried, right? My question to you, how many of you cried saying that, the infant, other baby who was born, he needs milk,
So, how many of you cried like this? Or how many of you cried, I want milk? Okay, how many of you cried thinking about the other baby next to you who was also born, right? He's not getting milk, please give milk to that. How many of you cried like this? Nobody. We all cried, I want milk. This is how we began our life. This is what I meant by be very practical. Which means that we have to start from the selfish. There is a selfishness within us. Day one we are born, right? Buddha Shakyamuni is exception. He was born, he took 7 steps, and he said that don't worry the world, I'm there to heal you. We never said it, day one we were born. Right? We said, I want milk. Okay. This is how we should be practical. Be very practical. From this we start. And then eventually you will realize that, wow, it's amazing. I want happiness, and happiness that I'm seeking is not what I get from selfishness, I get from other charity. So this is how we're going to have a transition. You getting it? This is a very precious approach. Okay, but be patient for the time being. So the point is, be kind to yourself, meaning give the maximum benefit to yourself. 1. Number 2, be wisely kind to yourself. Right? Be wisely kind to yourself means in the pretext of giving happiness to yourself, in the pretext of being kind to yourself, we tend to do things which actually bring disasters. For example, ending up in corruption, terrorism, cheating others. All these bad things are happening. All these bad things happening in the pretext, with the intention, with the feeling that this will give me happiness. In actuality, it only destroys us. Okay, so the point is, be wisely kind to yourself, meaning do those things which will actually give rise to happiness, which will actually get rid of all your fears. This is the point. With this mind, 2,500 years ago, the place Kapilavastu, now in Nepal, in this place there was a prince who you already know, Prince Siddhartha. Prince Siddhartha, who later became Buddha Shakyamuni. Prince Siddhartha was born. And then some of you might have already heard his biography, that with the 3 scenes, seeing a sick person, oldest person, and death, and the monastic. Seeing these 4 sides, he renounced the world. In actuality, it is not as simple as that. In actuality, it is not as simple as that. He was a prince. And he was born gifted with compassion. He was born gifted with wisdom and intelligence. In the palace, he could see so many things, because the palace is not the palace of Bodhisattvas, the palace of the ordinary people. So there he saw all the injustices going in the palace. Say, in the palace, there were all these, the king and the king's brothers, king's sisters. King's brothers had their own children. So, Prince Siddhartha was the son of the king. And then his cousins, they were all there. And are they all bodhisattvas? No. They were as ordinary as what we are. In most cases, worse than we are. Because they are being spoiled by the royal lifestyle. And then they bully other people. They bully the maids. They bully all these nasty things happening. So this young prince was seeing. And then in those days, wars between the kingdoms. So many people die. So many young children become orphans. Seeing all these things, he was disillusioned by samsara. So he was looking for a permanent solution to get out of this problem for all the beings. So this is how he started journey. So it says, the 2 lines reads, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide. Right? So we see that there are 2 things. One is the thesis meaning the conclusion, and then the 4 points which will take us to understand the conclusion. The conclusion is that that we want to be kind to ourselves, and we want to be wisely kind to ourselves. If we are ready to be wisely kind to ourselves, what should we do? What should we do? So we seek the help of a guide. We seek the help of a guide. What kind of guide? A guide who is reliable, very, very reliable. Very reliable guide. Right? Okay. So, what do you mean by reliable guide? What do you mean by reliable guide? Guide not just to take us to India, but to take us to the Buddhahood. That guide must be extremely, extremely reliable guide. So it says, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide. Transformed meaning, it's not like he was like a god, right? Who had no experience of the samsaric beings. God doesn't have any experience of samsaric beings, right? God has experience? God has no experience, because God is always God. Whereas the Buddha was once an ordinary person, then he became the reliable guide, which means that he had experience. He had undertaken this journey from the ordinary being to the Buddhahood. He had undertaken this journey, right? Somebody who has undertaken this journey, that person is very reliable. So this word transformed indicates that he was not the Buddha right from the beginning. He was an ordinary person at one point, then he eventually transformed into the reliable guide, the enlightened one, who has transformed into the reliable guide. Okay, so imagine, let's say, interestingly, when I was in Singapore last year, one professor, during the one-on-one discussion, he asked me one question. You're a Buddhist. You're a Buddhist. And I said, yes. And he said, do you think that you are still going to be a Buddhist if you're not born in a Buddhist family? Wow, this is a great question. Right? Okay, let me say this again. He said, are you Buddhist? I said, yes. Do you think that you are going to be Buddhist if you are not born in a Buddhist family? Wow, this is a very good question. So I said that, wow, this is a very serious question. Don't forget this question. This question is extremely important. Because 99% of the people follow their religion because they are born in this religion. Do you agree with me? 99% of people follow the religion because they are born in this religion. Which means that their thinking is not open. Their thinking is not open. Right? See, even the Buddhists, not only Christians, Hindus, Muslims, Jains, Sikhs, Jews, even the Buddhists, they are born in a Buddhist family, they become Buddhists. Not because they see the wonder of the Buddha Shakyamuni, how this Buddha Shakyamuni is a reliable guide, right? So therefore, if you don't see how this Buddha Shakyamuni is a reliable guide, then for somebody to claim as a Buddhist, in most cases, somebody who's born in a Buddhist family, or I'm a Buddhist, this is more like just a ritual, not the real meaning. Whereas if you know these two lines, then if you say that I'm a Buddhist, right? Buddhist, that makes sense. So therefore, these two lines are so important. So the question is, imagine that now, imagine that say you are somebody who's so keen to seek a meaning of your life, to give a meaning to your life, and how to extract the greatest meaning out of life. And then say you go to different teachers. So one teacher says that, okay, say if you go to north, you will find the meaning of life. If you go to south, you will never find the meaning of life. And you go to teacher B. Teacher B says, only if you go to south, you will get the meaning of life. You go to north, you will never get the meaning of life. You're confused. And both the teachers, they have a big following. There are so many students following the teacher A, so many students following teacher B. How are you going to decide? Anyone, quick. How will you decide which of the two teachers should you follow? The two teachers, they are teaching the opposite things. And both have, simply because of the renown. Simply because of the renown you can follow. Because both have massive followings. So how would you follow? How would you choose which of the two teacher can give you a proper guidance, or the guidance is correct? Anyone? Anyone? Yes, Maria.
So I guess like the one that is more like kind and humble, and according to the teacher's character.
Okay, somebody who's kind and humble, not knowing E equals MC square. Right? Okay, that is disaster. Very kind, humble, but not know what is equals to square. And you see, please teach me physics. And you see that person is very kind and humble, not know what equals MC square. Okay, anyone else? Very quick. Very quick. Anyone? Anyone? How would you choose? Yes, Nicola?
Through reasoning.
Okay, through reasoning, right? Just try to see the reality through reasoning, not through belief. Belief-wise, the same now, right? A has so many followers, B has so many followers. So with belief, if you follow A, why not B? If you B, why not A? This question. So by reasoning, then see, right, where it takes you, right? This is so important. So with this, then the approach, why this Prince Siddhartha, who later became Buddha Shakyamuni, why following him is a wise thing to do? Not because of the blind faith, not because he was a prince. In fact, there are so many people who follow somebody simply because he or she is a prince. There are so many, right? Simply because the person is the prince and who is, the very, very courteous, gentle. Okay, no, not because of this reason. It's because of the 4 reasons. 4 reasons given there. What are they? The motivated by altruism to benefit all sentient beings, teacher, Sugata, and protector. The 4 points, right? Just see to these 4 points. Okay, number 1. It's actually in this line. Motivated, but the first motivation. Motivated by altruism to benefit all sentient beings, number 1. Number 2, the teacher, and I will explain each one of them. Number 2, the teacher. Number 3, the Sugata. Number 4, the protector. Okay, let me say this again. Number 1, intent, the motivation, which is the altruism to benefit all sentient beings. Number 2, the teacher. Number 3, Sugata. Number 4, the protector. It is for these 4 reasons that we see this Prince Siddhartha, who later became Buddha Shakyamuni, is such a reliable guide. We follow him, we will not go off the track. We will the proper track towards ultimate happiness. Okay. The first one, motivated by altruism. So say that, and then with the 2 teachers, plus you heard about Prince Siddhartha, who later became Buddha. You're getting it? And there are so many followings. So you become so interested. You become so interested in this Prince Siddhartha, who later became Buddha Shakyamuni. Okay, so say the French, from the Kalachakra Center, somebody comes to you, hey, you are following Buddha Shakyamuni, and you say yes. What is so special about him? What is the answer? What is so special about him? Kalachakra Center members? What is so special about him? Oh, because he was a prince. Because he was a prince? No, there are so many disasters of the nasty prince. Right? So many nasty princes are also there. So no point. So why are you following him? Because he was roaming around here and there. And there are so many people who are roaming around. Right? So why? Why is this so special? Okay. If you know these 4 points, then you will become so confident that, okay, now I found the meaning of my life. 1. Number 2, I can share this. You just feel like sharing this with as many people so that the eyes of the wisdom are opened in others. Okay, so this Prince Siddhartha, who was being so well followed by so many people, how come that he's being followed by all the intelligent people? Intelligent people, how come? Okay, so what you do is that there are two things. First, you just track this Prince Siddhartha. No, track this Buddha Shakyamuni when he was just a young prince. From there, you examine how he evolved to become a Buddha. This is one approach. Number two is you don't go back from the beginning, but just start from where he is now as a Buddha. What made him Buddha, right? Then from there, say 2018, you go back to 2017, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. This is another way of going. Number two is going back to, okay, he was born in, say 2,500 years ago, say like whichever year. And then from there, from the starting point of his birth, from there you start. He was 5 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old, 29 years old, and he left the kingdom. He left the palace, 29 years old, and then 6 years. Then at 35, he became enlightened. He achieved Buddhahood. And then he started to help the benefit of beings. So starting from the point he was born, from there you track his life, right? So what is done here? So both are done here. So what I'm going to explain to you very quickly about from his childhood to the Buddhahood. If you look at this biography, then you will be inspired. Okay, now I found a teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, as my teacher, who is such a reliable guide to guide me towards Buddhahood, the greatest meaning of my life. Okay, so looking at his biography, we see that he was such a very compassionate young prince, very intelligent young prince, very compassionate. So it says, guided by what? Motivated by altruism to benefit all sentient beings. So this is motivation, to benefit all sentient beings, not just for him to gain fame, right? But to benefit all beings. So this, if you read his biography, if you watch his biography, you will see this, right? Okay. By the way, just for information, the Buddha Shakyamuni's biography, there's the whole, I think 54 or 55 episodes. 55 episodes, clips, not clips, short, the movies. A short, the series of the Buddha's movie, 55. They are available, and same, I don't know the one that you get from the YouTube, they don't have the English subtitles. I don't know whether it is the French subtitles. I'm not too sure. The one with the English subtitles is available. It's not that expensive. It's available. If you Amazon, you can order it.
Actually, it's on Netflix nowadays.
Netflix
nowadays. Maybe they have French subtitles on Netflix.
Okay, just check it. English subtitles is there, but French subtitles, I'm not too sure. You can check it, right? And I would say that this is something you must watch. If it is subtitles, you must watch this. That is extremely, extremely powerful message of compassion, powerful message of this thing. You can see this actually displayed in this 54 movie series. Okay. So with this, then what happened? That with so much kindness, compassion that this young Prince Siddhartha had, then he was actually seeing all these miseries, the problems, sickness, aging, death, the bullies, the corruption, tension, terrorism, wars. He was seeing all these things, and he's seeing the incredible pain, the acute pain, excruciating pain of the beings. So that he realized that now there's no point in sitting like this. I have to go to look for ways and means to free the beings from the suffering. So with that in mind, then what he did was that he first went and he met with his first teacher. First teacher, Acharya. Acharya means the master. Acharya Allara Kalam, the first teacher. He met with the first teacher, Then he received teachings from him, and they just within a very short span of time, he reached the same spiritual level as his teacher. Then he asked for more spiritual guidance, and the teacher said that you have already reached the same level as I have nothing extra to give you. And then Prince Siddhartha left to do for, because he realized that this is not the ultimate answer to all the problems of the sentient beings. Then he went in search of another teacher. He found the second teacher, Acharya Udreka. Second teacher, Acharya Udreka. Second teacher was, so both the teachers, they were solely into the meditative experience. This morning we discussed about the single point of meditation and the analytical meditation. So these two teachers were only expert in the single point of meditation, not the analytical meditation. So Buddha Shakyamuni, again he was trained under the second teacher of the Acharya, the Udreka, and then very soon again he reached the same level of the meditative experience as that of the teacher. And again he asked for more teachings. The teacher said that you have already reached the ultimate. You don't need any more teaching. Then Prince Siddhartha said that, so still I have not found the path which could resolve all the problems of the sentient beings. So he went in search of the path. Further, he went in search. And then finally, under the Bodhi tree, 6 years of penance, 6 years of austerity, 6 years of practice, finally he found the wisdom. The wisdom which is to counteract the self-grasping ignorance. So, the Buddha Shakyamuni, this Prince Siddhartha, he discovered that all the problems are rooted to the self-grasping ignorance. You getting it? Okay, imagine, okay, now I'm going to check, let's say, how the French people and generally the French and others who came from, Diana, you came from where?
New York.
From New York, and Fritz from Holland, and Maria from Finland, and Alex from Russia. Anyone else from elsewhere? Yes, from Belgium. Anyone else? From Israel. Yes. Okay. Now let's say anyone else. Yes. From China. Anyone else? Anyone else? Huh? Mark. Mark from?
Netherlands, like
Netherlands.
Spain,
Yes. Holland.
Holland.
Okay, good. Now, let's say, okay, all of us see how you can help me, right? I need help. Okay. And I asked this question, I asked the same help from many people. In Malaysia, Singapore, some helps are terrible helps. Right. Okay. So I hope your help is going to be genuine good help for me. Right? Okay. Say that I live in Delhi. And I'm on the third floor. Okay. I'm on the third floor. And the problem with me, I'm just creating a scenario. The problem with me is that the house that I live in is so damp, so much moisture, damp. Because which I have the asthma problem, breathing problem, right? Breathing, asthma problem, right? Okay, now tell me, this is a problem because of the dampness of the house. Okay, you help me. How can you help me? Please help me. Give me suggestions. What should I do? Very quick. Anyone? Huh?
Shifting.
Okay, this is the most common answer that I get. And, okay, remove the house. Unfortunately, I'm very poor. If I move the house, all my 1 year salary will go away. Right? So I couldn't survive. Okay, what is the next option? Huh?
Spend more time outside of the house.
Spend more time outside terribly hot. Delhi, right? Then I have to waste so much of money drinking Coca-Cola, cold water. Okay, in Delhi, pollution, right? Anyone else?
Hire a company to fix the humidity problem.
Okay, hire a company, right? Hire a company to fix the humidity problem, right? And the company will discharge me like 1 lakh rupees. Okay.
Fire, like air.
Or you buy dehumidifier, right? Which will cost me about like 20,000 the Indian rupees, which is very costly. And sometimes it breaks down. I have to call the mechanic, and the mechanic says, I'll come today, I'll come this evening, and he comes only after 1 week. Right? So 1 week I've suffered. Okay, anyone else?
Accepting the conditions.
Accept the conditions, you suffer asthma. Right? You suffer asthma, and then no dharma. Right? Then oh ye dharma, om ye dharma, hetu prabha, Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Yes, Mark? No solution. Okay. Anyone else?
Okay. Sleep behind your desk in the Tibet house.
Huh?
Sleep behind your desk in the Tibet house.
Okay. In Tibet institutional area, the police people come. Police come. This is not a place to sleep. This is the office. Office place. Okay, this is also not wise. Anyone else? No suggestions?
Reinforce the body by the mind.
Huh?
The body is weaker.
Yeah.
Your energy.
The mind, right? It will take me another 20 years to make my mind strong. My mind is very weak, right? First, I have to come to France to sit for Bodhicittas retreat and practice for the next 20 years. So meanwhile, I may, okay, any idea?
Ask someone for help.
Ask someone to help. Who? I'm asking help. I'm asking help. I'm not getting help. Anyone else? Oh no. Yes. Okay, the doctor, right? And the doctor is so happy. The doctor from what? Government hospital or the private hospital? Private hospital, they are so happy. We got one client, right? They will keep extracting money from me, right? They will say, don't move your house. Stay in the house, and I'll be every day. He gives some medicine. I become sick all the time. He gives medicines. Yes.
Learn how to enjoy the moisture.
Oh, learn how to enjoy the moisture. My body cannot learn it. Right? Okay, I'm not getting answer from here. Yes, Eric.
Try to find the cause of the moisture.
Very good. Okay, because we are on the third floor, not on the ground floor. If it's ground floor, from the earth, moisture can be coming out. Third floor means moisture, water from the ground is not there. Third floor, right? So the moisture dampness must be because of some leakage. Because of some leakage, right? Just track that leakage. Leakage must be coming from the broken pipe. You buy some the glue for €1. €1 glue, put it there, finish. You don't have to move the house, right? And then you don't have to call the doctors. And who else? What are the answers given? What are the... Strengthen your body, wait for another 20 years, you don't. Just 5 minutes. Put a glue there, €1. It's not going to be as expensive €1. It's going to be 1/4 of a cent. What do you call it? Cent? Cents, right? 5 cents. Finish. Problem is over. So the point is that we have to know exactly what is the cause of the problem. If you don't look for the cause of the problem, unnecessarily you have to move your house. Right? You have to move your house. And then you have to sit in your office. You have to sleep in the office. The policeman will harass you. Okay, so the point is we have to track the cause. This is so important. We have to track the cause. Once the cause is identified, you eradicate the problem. It is not easy. It is not difficult. It is easy. So therefore, the Buddha Shakyamuni tracked the cause of all the miseries, and he found that the final cause of the problems is self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. The two things, right? Self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. So our job is, within this retreat, our job is to identify what is self-grasping ignorance, what is self-centered attitude, and to to see the difference. How these two, like the two parents, they come together, the child is given birth to. Likewise, self-grasping, then self-centered attitude, these two come together, all our miseries come into being. We're getting it? These two things, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered. Don't worry too much now, right? So on day 5, day 6, still if you don't understand what self-grasping and self-centered, you have to worry. At the moment, don't worry, right? Okay. So self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude, how these two are different, yet these two work hand in hand and gives rise to all the miseries. You getting it? Okay. With this in mind, say self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude, like the sound of a clam, say self-grasping, ignorance is one hand, self-centered attitude is another hand. These two come together, then the sound of the miseries arise. So of the two, either you remove self-grasping, ignorance, or you remove self-centered attitude, then the sound of the clap will automatically come to an end. So of the two, which is easier to be gone rid of from the root, self-grasping ignorance is easier. Self-centered attitude, we cannot get rid of from the root until you become full enlightened, achieve Buddhahood. So self-grasping ignorance, you can get rid of it. If you remove the self-grasping ignorance, even if you have not removed self-centered attitude, at least all your problems will come to an end. Your fears of life will come to an end. Okay, with this, tell me, if the self-grasping ignorance is at the root of all the problems, how to get rid of the self-grasping ignorance? This question. So ignorance, to eradicate the ignorance, we have to introduce the counterforce. To eradicate the darkness, it is only through introducing the light. Do you agree with me? To eradicate darkness, it is only through introducing the light. Likewise, to eradicate the darkness of the ignorance, it is only through introducing the light of the wisdom. So the light of the wisdom has to be introduced. And this light of the wisdom is something that we have to learn. For us to learn, we cannot really learn it, we cannot know it easily. It's a very complicated subject, so therefore somebody has to teach us. So this Prince Siddhartha, this young prince, he saw the need for him to teach this wisdom of emptiness to all beings. So we read from the 2 lines, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. With this motivation, he was looking for the solution. What's the solution for all the problems? What is the solution? Tell me. From what we've learned thus far, what is the solution to all the problems? All the problems are rooted to self-grasping ignorance. And what's the solution to remove the self-grasping ignorance? The wisdom of emptiness. So the wisdom is so important. Wisdom of emptiness. So this Prince Siddhartha, he found the need for him to teach the wisdom of emptiness to all beings. So he should become a teacher of the wisdom of emptiness. So the number 2 says the teacher, right? So this motivation, altruism, drove him to become a teacher of the wisdom of emptiness. Okay, now to teach something, first he has to get the conviction that this wisdom of emptiness actually can help you. How? First, he should have the experience himself. You agree with me? First, he should have the experience himself. So for that matter, first he experimented on himself to see whether this wisdom of emptiness helps to get rid of all the fears of his life. So he experimented this. What happens? Let's say the poisonous tree. They are huge poisonous tree with millions of poisonous leaves growing there, and the wind blowing from the poisonous tree, poisonous leaf, and it touches your body. The skin rashes happen. Okay, so what do you do? If you don't want the skin rashes, what do? You cannot stop the wind, right? What do? You remove the leaves. If you remove the leaves, like if you remove 50 leaves, 400 new leaves will grow the next day. So this is not really a wise idea. What is the wisest thing to do? Tell me. If you don't want to have the skin rashes, what will you do? You remove the leaves, or what will you do? Tell me, anyone?
Cover your body.
Huh?
Cover your body.
Oh, cover your body every day again.
Or move.
In Delhi, it's very hot. Right? It's not a good idea. Okay. Anyone else? What do you do? Anyone? Yes, Alex. Huh?
Yeah. Get the tree.
Cut the tree. Okay, cut the tree from the top.
No,
Then,
and take away the roots from the ground.
okay, uproot it. If you cut the tree, if you remove the leaves, in 2-3 days, 400 leaves will grow. If you cut the tree from the top, 1 year is fine. Next year, again, more leaves will grow. Right? So, as Alex said, we have to uproot it. Remove the root. Right? Remove the root. Likewise, what he did was that this Prince Siddhartha, he was meditating on the wisdom which he wanted to teach the sentient beings. So for that, he first experimented it himself. By doing this, what happens? As the wisdom is meditated, wisdom is cultivated within himself, as the wisdom within him becomes stronger, what happens? Like the two sides of the balance of sin, light becomes stronger, the darkness disappears. You agree with me? Okay. The wisdom becomes stronger, then the darkness of self-grasping ignorance disappears. When the darkness of self-grasping ignorance disappears, the root is cut. The root of the poisonous tree. The root is cut. Once the root is cut, what happens to the leaves? The leaves will automatically dry. However millions of leaves they will automatically dry. You agree with me? Good. Now what happens is that when within him the wisdom becomes stronger, then the self-grasping ignorance becomes weaker, eventually it disappears. The root of misery stops. Then all the fears, the leaves of the poisonous leaves, like the fear, they all dissolve. So when the fear dissolves, when the disturbance dissolves, what's the opposite of disturbance? What is the opposite of disturbance? Peace. Right? When all the disturbance dissolves, the peace and the bliss is experienced. That is known as Sugata. What is next? The teacher. And then what is next to teacher? Reading the text. The one who is transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. The teacher. What is point number 3? Sugata. Sugata means the one who has gone to the ultimate bliss. Sugata means the one who has gone to the ultimate bliss. Sugata. So what happens is that because of this experimenting, when the self-grasping ignorance is gone, is eradicated, then all the misery is dry, they disappear on their own. When the misery is dissolved, then the bliss of nirvana, the bliss of enlightenment is what he experienced. So that made him to become the Sugata. Okay. With this experience, he becomes so confident. Yes, no? With this experience, he becomes so confident. With this confidence, then he went fearlessly. He went out confidently. He went out to protect the beings. What is number 4? Protector. You're getting it? This is the biography of the Buddha Shakyamuni. Right? If you understand the biography of Buddha Shakyamuni in this form, then you have really understood what the dharma is. How to be wisely kind to yourself. You getting it? Okay. So what is the meaning of be kind to yourself? Means give all the benefits to you. Like what? Remove all your fears. Give yourself the maximum happiness. Okay. The next point. How to do that? Be wisely kind to yourself. Be wisely kind to yourself. How to be wisely kind to yourself? By following the footsteps of the Buddha Shakyamuni. You're getting it? If this is what we're doing, this is the wisest way to lead a life. Okay. With this in mind, tell me, from these 4, what we learn is altruism, motivation, altruism. Then what is next? Teacher. What is next? Sugata. What is next? Protector. Right? Well, these 4 points. Don't forget the 4 points. With these 4 points, somebody who has gone through these 4 points becomes the reliable guide. You're getting it? Reliable guide. Okay. So what we said is we started by saying be kind to yourself and be wisely kind to yourself. Now we ended by saying that by how to be wisely kind to yourself is by following these 4 points. By following 4 points, this will make you to have the make you to become a reliable guide. What is a reliable guide? To benefit all beings in the most efficient way. So now we see that be kind to yourself and then be a reliable guide. These two are synonymous. You're getting it? Be a reliable guide means be of maximum benefit to other beings. And when we start by saying be wisely kind to yourself means give the maximum happiness to yourself. Giving maximum happiness to yourself and being the reliable guide to all beings, these two are synonymous. You're getting it? If you understand Dharma in this way, you become somebody who really understands the Dharma, and your approach will give you such a joy in you. And then although physically you may become older, your mind will become happier. You're getting it? Otherwise, what happens is that as we age, physically we become older, then we cross, say, 40, 50, 60. Then what happens is that we become nostalgic of your youth, right? And we become sadder, more lonely. Whereas, if you understand the Dharma, the way Buddha Shakyamuni proceeded, age-wise we become older. Mind, you become happier. If that happens, you're following a good track. You are in the good track of the Dharma practice. Okay. With this, now tell me, of these 4 points, what do you think is very relevant? Or what do you think is the most urgent thing for us to do at this point? Anyone? Huh? The motivation? Anyone else? Motivation? Anyone else? Anyone else? So after learning this, the 4 points. Motivation of the Bodhicitta, teacher, Sugata. What is teacher? The teacher of the wisdom of emptiness. Very good. The teacher of the wisdom of emptiness. Number 2. Then number 3, the Sugata. That you experiencing the Sugatahood, meaning that you experiencing the perfect bliss of enlightenment. And then number 4, protector. To protect the beings by giving this wisdom. Okay, what do you think? Answer may not necessarily be 1 or 2 or 3. There could be various answers. There could be number of answers. Okay, tell me. So one is, now what we really need to work on is the motivation. 1. Anyone else? Anyone else? Give your thoughts, please. Or renunciation. Yes.
To find a good teacher.
Okay, so you, not to look for outside, right? So from these 4 points, motivation of the altruism, right? And the teacher what? For you to become the teacher of the wisdom of emptiness. Then number 4, the Sugatahood, meaning for you to have experience of the elimination of self-grasping ignorance, and you experience the infinite bliss of nirvana and Buddhahood, and finally become the protector. So which is so urgent for us now? Huh? Wisdom of emptiness, motivation, renunciation,
Conviction.
huh?
Conviction
Conviction what?
in the teaching.
Oh, conviction in the teaching of the wisdom. Anyone else? Okay, in fact, yes, Chris?
Know where we are now.
Know when we are now. We have to know the reality that we are now. On that basis, we have to start. Very good. Yes.
Determination, to have the determination to follow the path.
Wow, very good. The determination, you see the path, and then you don't feel overwhelmed. Okay, I saw the path. Yes, I saw the path. It's too much. Right? No, determination. Right? Determination must be there. Okay. Right? Okay, very serious points. Determination. And then who said something else? Okay, so one is motivation. One is we have to know where we are now. And one is the wisdom. And one is the teacher, right? That you should become a teacher of the wisdom of emptiness. And then the determination, and somebody else said something else. Huh? Conviction. Okay. Conviction. Okay. So these are all extremely important points. Okay. Let us say that in this this retreat is known as the Bodhicitta retreat. Bodhicitta retreat. And Bodhicitta, there are two kinds. Right? Bodhicitta, there are so many ways of classifying Bodhicitta, but Bodhicitta, namesake. Bodhicitta, just say in terms of the word Bodhicitta, there are two. Right? One is the ultimate Bodhicitta, and the other one is conventional Bodhicitta. What we speak about Bodhicitta all the time, oh, Bodhicitta is so important, Bodhicitta is so important, it is referring to the conventional Bodhicitta. Conventional Bodhicitta, right? Conventional Bodhicitta is the altruistic intention to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Altruistic intention to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. This is the conventional Bodhicitta. Then the one is ultimate Bodhicitta. So when you speak about Bodhicitta and conventional Bodhicitta, these two are synonymous. Okay. Okay, the Nico, what's the meaning of Nico? Okay. Huh?
In which language?
No, in your own language.
No meaning.
It's no meaning. Okay, let's say Oceana. What's the meaning of Oceana?
Ocean?
Ocean, right? Okay. Okay, where's ocean? Okay, where's ocean? Huh? Where is ocean?
Towards the west.
Huh?
Towards the west.
Towards west. Ocean is there. Okay. She is not ocean, but she is given the label, arbitrarily given the label ocean. You're getting it? She's not ocean. But if you say, where's Oceana? She will say, I'm here. You're getting it? This is just an arbitrary name given. Likewise, Bodhicitta. Wisdom of emptiness is also given the label Bodhicitta, but this is arbitrarily given. It is not Bodhicitta. You don't forget it. Bodhicitta, ultimate Bodhicitta, conventional Bodhicitta. What is the real Bodhicitta is the conventional Bodhicitta. Ultimate Bodhicitta refers to the wisdom of emptiness. Wisdom of emptiness of the Arya Bodhisattvas. Arya meaning Bodhisattvas who already reached the path of seeing. Bodhisattvas who already reached the path of seeing, they are known as the Arya Bodhisattvas. So the wisdom of emptiness, direct non-dual wisdom of emptiness. Okay, what is ultimate Bodhicitta? Non-dual wisdom of emptiness, which the Arya Bodhisattvas have, is known as the ultimate Bodhicitta. Don't forget it. Non-dual wisdom of emptiness, which the Arya Bodhisattvas have, is known as the ultimate Bodhicitta. So ultimate Bodhicitta, we speak in a loose sense, we speak of the Bodhicitta in two ways. Ultimate Bodhicitta, conventional Bodhicitta. But the actual Bodhicitta is which? Which one is the actual Bodhicitta? Conventional Bodhicitta, not the ultimate Bodhicitta. Okay, with this in mind, this retreat is known as Bodhicitta, where we emphasize on the two Bodhicittas, ultimate Bodhicitta and the conventional Bodhicitta. So the motivation of the conventional Bodhicitta and actual path which takes us is the ultimate bodhicitta, wisdom of emptiness. So these two are the main focus of bodhicitta retreat. Now, for the bodhicitta, the precursor or the preliminary for this bodhicitta is renunciation. Renunciation is required as the basis, the ground for the conventional bodhicitta, right? And then the determination to pursue this journey depends on many factors. Many factors, right? The determination. Say, who's going to be more determined? Say the mother with only one child, mother with 5 children, and say both the mothers are in a drought where you hardly find food. Which of the two mother is going to be more determined? The mother with one child or mother with 5 children? 5 children, right? Mother with 5 children or mother with infinite children? Infinite children. So therefore, bodhicitta, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. When it is very genuine, the determination is going to be naturally be there. It'll automatically be there when you generate the bodhicitta, right? So this is a very important factor. And the conviction, right? Unless you understand what the wisdom of emptiness is, just by believing in the wisdom of emptiness, it will not help you. Okay, how many of you believe in E equals mc square? How many of you believe in this equation, E equals mc square by Albert Einstein? Right? I believe in it. I believe in last 30 years. Still, I don't know how E equals mc square. I don't know this. I don't have the conviction. I just believe in it. I have no conviction in it. Without conviction, I will never learn how to derive this equation. Without conviction in the wisdom of emptiness, you will never experience what emptiness is. Although you believe, oh, emptiness is so precious, the Buddha taught it is so precious, it will never give it. As long as you don't have the conviction, it will never actually have. You will never actually have you will never actually reap the benefit of the wisdom of emptiness. You getting it? Okay. So the wisdom of emptiness, for that we need conviction. And how to get conviction in the wisdom of emptiness? This is very important discussion. So therefore, in Buddhism, the emphasis is so much on gaining conviction, not on blind faith. So the conviction has to be gained on the basis of the 3. It is also referred to as the 3 kinds of wisdom. 3 kinds of wisdom. Okay, what are the 3 kinds of wisdom? 1, wisdom derived through learning, wisdom derived through reflection, wisdom derived through meditation. 3 kinds of wisdom. In order for you to feel the effect of the wisdom. 3 kinds of wisdom. Wisdom derived through learning, wisdom derived through reflection, and the wisdom derived through meditation. 3. Okay, we will explore what these 3 wisdoms are. This is so important. Otherwise, right? Okay. Otherwise, switching from, say, other religions to Buddhism, it makes no sense if you don't have these 3 wisdoms. If you don't get conviction in these 3 wisdoms, then switching from one religion to other religion is just like, changing from pasta to pizza. No. What's the French food? What's the French food? The bread. Yesterday, what was that?
Baguette.
No, yesterday. Last evening. Quiche. So if you don't get conviction in these 3 wisdoms, if you don't employ these 3 wisdoms, if you don't understand what these 3 wisdoms are, then switching from other religion to Buddhism, other religion, it is like changing from pasta to quiche. Same, right? Okay. So the point is we have to know what these 3 wisdoms are. Then you will see that, okay, it doesn't matter whether I call myself Buddhist or not, but now I know the meaning. Now I know the meaning of my life. Right? This is so important. Okay, the 3 wisdoms. The first one, wisdom derived through learning. Right? Wisdom derived through learning. First one, say, even learning, for example, what are we doing here? Right? How many days? 6.5 days. Bodhicitta. So there, what we're going to study? No, what did I say? What we are going to study these 6.5 days? Huh? Wisdom of emptiness and the bodhicitta, two things. Right? Okay. Don't tell this to the monks in the monastery universities. Sarah, Debunga, then don't tell them that we study emptiness, wisdom of emptiness, bodhicitta, right? Retreat. And they may ask you, how many years retreat? And they may ask you 16 years. No, 6 years. No, then 6 days. Right? First, when you say that, oh, bodhicitta, wisdom of emptiness, we did this retreat, right? They'll be so happy, right? Wow, you spent 16 years there. And you say, no, then 6 years. You say, no, how many days? 6 days then, right? But don't say this to them. Just keep it confidential. Just keep it confidential. Okay, just say that, okay, we're doing this. Now the point is that the wisdom, the wisdom drawn through learning. Wisdom drawn through learning. Wisdom drawn through learning is just acquire as much knowledge as possible about the wisdom of emptiness, bodhicitta, the 4 seals, the 6 perfections, the renunciation, and the meditation. Just try to acquire as much knowledge. Okay, say acquiring the knowledge. For example, say I'll give you the example of the wisdom drawn through these 3 wisdoms. What are the 3 wisdoms? What are the 3 wisdoms? Wisdom drawn through learning, reflection, and meditation. 3. So these 3 should not be altered. They should be done in this particular sequence. You must follow the sequence. Okay. With these 3 in sequence, the first one, wisdom drawn through what is the first one? Wisdom drawn through learning, right? Wisdom drawn through learning. Okay, I'll give an example of the wisdom drawn through learning, right? Okay, when I was young, age 6. When I was age 6, my teacher, mathematics teacher, asked me to learn multiplication table. How many of you learned multiplication table when you were in your school? Multiplication table, raise your hands. Okay, so I also learned it when I was age 6, right? Multiplication table of 3. So the teacher, okay, memorize this multiplication table of 3 and tomorrow test. I was just 6 years old. And then the next day, the teacher said, okay, test. Dorji, stand up. So I stood up. And he asked me, what is 3 into 3? 3 what? 3 into 1? That's the easiest one. What's the answer? 3, right? I said 3. Teacher said, good. What is 3 into 2? I have no clue. Right? So what I do, I put my 2 hands behind me. Right? My 2 hands become very busy now. 3 ones are 3. 3 twos are 4, 5, 6. 6. The teacher is very happy. Good. What is 3 into 3? 7, 8, 9. 9. Okay, this is what I've learned from my teacher. I don't know how 3 into 3 equals 9. I have no idea. Right? I just mechanically do it and I got the correct answer. But it is not through my actual conviction. I have no conviction in this. You getting it? This is the meaning of wisdom drawn through learning. I get the correct answer, but I have no conviction in the answer that I'm getting. Now, if you ask me, do you know now, after 30 years? No. After 40 years, after 45 years, no, after 44 years. Now, do you get the conviction that 3 equals 3 is 9? 3 into 3 equals 9? Do you have the conviction? My answer is yes. How? Okay. The dry fruits. How many dry fruits I need to have in order for me to give 3 dry fruits each to 3 people? Kabisana 3, Nico 3, Christopher 3. I need 3 dry fruits into 3 people, 9 dry fruits. So this is the meaning of 3 into 3 equals 9. Now I know this. This is known as the wisdom drawn through reflection. Now I have the conviction. The moment you gain the conviction, that is known as the wisdom derived through reflection. You're getting it? The difference between the wisdom derived through learning and wisdom derived through reflection is that wisdom derived through learning, you don't have the conviction. It is a borrowed knowledge. It is not your knowledge. Wisdom derived through reflection is the conviction. It becomes your knowledge. It is not the borrowed knowledge anymore. It is your knowledge. The moment you get the conviction, it becomes the wisdom derived through reflection. Okay, number 2. What is number 3?
Meditation.
Wisdom derived through meditation. Right? Okay. Now, what is the difference between wisdom derived through reflection and wisdom derived through meditation? This I'll tell you. This is extremely important. Okay, we'll do this and then we'll stop here for break. Okay, wisdom derived through what? What is the distinction that I'm trying to share with you? Wisdom derived through reflection versus wisdom derived through meditation. Okay, let's say I'll give you a mathematics problem, and you do the solve the mathematical problem, right? Mathematical calculation. Are you ready? Ready? Right? And I promise it's going to be very simple mathematics, not difficult. You don't need to note it down. Okay, ready? Do it. Mentally do it. Don't verbally do it. In the end, I'll ask you to give an answer. Then you give an answer. Okay, ready? 2 plus 1. Don't say anything. Do the calculation. Let's say start again. 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 minus 2 plus 1. What's the answer?
6.
What's the answer? French are not good at mathematics. It's a very simple mathematics. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, pay attention to this. Okay, ready? Now the numbers may change, right? It will not be the same. Okay, do it again. 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 minus 2 plus 1 plus 2. What's the answer?
8.
Very good, amazing. Very good. Okay, right? You did it so good. I was not expecting that you're good in mathematics. Okay, now let us do the same thing, right? I promise not to complicate it even more. Same number. Ready? Ready. Okay. 1 plus 2 plus 2 minus 2 plus 2 plus 1 minus 2 plus 1 minus 2 plus 2 plus 3. What's the answer? Okay, you get lost. Why? Why you cannot give the answer? Tell me why? Huh?
We could not memorize.
Why not?
Not enough time.
Huh?
Not enough concentration.
Okay, no enough concentration. Why no time? Because I'm saying this fast. Huh? You did not say that because I'm so slow in mathematics. Nobody said it, right? Nobody said I'm slow in mathematics. Everybody say you are saying fast. Right? Okay. Now look, although you know how to do the calculation, but your mind is not fast. You getting it? Your mind is not fast. Okay. Finally, why do we need the wisdom of emptiness? Tell me. Why are we trying to understand? Why are we trying to get the wisdom of emptiness? Why?
To get a clear mind and wise, clear,
In one, to get a clear mind, wise. In one,
To get the root of suffering.
to get rid of suffering. Anyone else? Make it very precise.
to get rid of the self-grasping.
To get rid of the self-grasping ignorance, which is the root of the suffering, right? To get rid of the self-grasping ignorance. And self-grasping...
Which is so fast and spontaneous.
Exactly, self-grasping ignorance. And what is the self-grasping ignorance like? Is it slow or fast? Right? Self-grasping ignorance is very easy. Self-grasping ignorance, the indicator is your attachment, anger, jealousy, right? These negative emotions, they are the indicators of the self-grasping ignorance. How fast is our attachment, anger, and so forth? How fast? Very slow. Huh? For example, somebody says, "Hey, what a stupid thing that you're doing," right? In a remote village, why don't you have beautiful class in Paris? Why in a remote place? What a stupid thing that you're doing. This is what I expected from you. You're a stupid guy. And what will you think? Okay, Fritz, should I become angry? Is this your reaction? Should I become angry? Yes, of course. Why not? Right? Okay, let me meditate on anger. Then meditate anger. Is this how you become angry? Or it's spontaneous? Very spontaneous. So negative emotions are so fast. Right? And negative emotions are very fast and high quality. Right? Negative emotions are high quality. It's so intense, high quality, and very fast. And whereas wisdom and emptiness is very slow. Forget about wisdom and emptiness. Even the mathematics wisdom is so slow. Right? Simple numbers, 2 plus 3, 1 plus 1, even that is very slow. So negative force is so fast. Right? So why the wisdom? Wisdom to counteract the negative force. And negative force, they arise, they go on. And wisdom is yet to come. It's so slow. So the purpose of the wisdom is that wisdom should counteract the negative force. And negative force is so intense, so fast, we have to make the wisdom also very fast and very spontaneous. You getting it? How to make the wisdom very fast and spontaneous? By moving to the third level, which is the wisdom drawn through meditation. It is only through constant familiarization meditation that wisdom will become fast, wisdom will become intense, right? So these are the 3 levels of the wisdom. Okay, so with this wisdom, this is the wisdom that we need to cultivate. We need to cultivate along with the practice of Bodhicitta. Okay, so now we will return for a tea break and group discussion, right? And as I said yesterday, group discussion, let us make sure that at least what is being covered, what is covered in the class is discussed first. Once that is done, and particularly newcomers, you make sure that newcomers also take part in this group discussion, right? Okay. Deyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha. Oh, you 3 prostrations.